Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Good morning. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So would someone like to read today's chapter from verse number 1 to 50? 1 to 52.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Just a minute, I'll just take out the...
So you want to open the book?
No, either way, it's on phone.
Hmm.
It's loading. Yeah. Chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 8. Dhruva Maharaj leaves home for the forest. Text 1. The great sage Maitreya said, the 4 great Kumara sages, headed by Sanaka as well as Narada, Ribu, Hamsa, Aruni, and Yati, all sons of Brahma, did not live at home, but became Urdhavareta or Naishthika Brahmacharis, unadulterated celibates. Another son of Lord Brahma was Irreligion, whose wife's name was Falsity. From their combination were born 2 demons named Damba or bluffing and Maya or cheating. These 2 demons were taken by a demon named Nirti, who had no children. Maitreya told Vidura, O great soul, from Damba and Maya were born greed and Nikriti or cunning. From their combination came children named Krodha, anger, or Himsa, envy, and from their combination were born Kali and his sister Durukti, harsh speech. O greatest of all good men, by the combination of Kali and harsh speech were born children named Mrityu, death, and Bhiti, fear. From the combination of Mrityu and Bhiti came children named Yatana, excessive pain, and Niraya, hell. My dear Vidura, I have summarily explained the causes of devastation. One who hears this description 3 times attains piety and washes the sinful contamination from his soul. Maitreya continued, O best of Kuru dynasty, I shall now describe before you the descendants of Swayambhuva Manu, who was born of a part of a plenary expansion of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Swayambhuva Manu had 2 sons by his wife, Satarupa, and names of the sons were Uttanapada and Priyavrata. Because both of them were descendants of plenary expansion of Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they were very competent to rule the universe, to maintain and protect the citizens. King Uttanapada had 2 queens named Suniti and Suruchi. Suruchi was much more dear to the king. Suniti, who had a son named Dhruva, was not his favorite. Once upon a time, King Uttanapada was patting the son of Suruchi, Uttama, placing him on his lap. Dhruva Maharaj was also trying to get on the king's lap, but the king did not very much welcome him. While the child Dhruva Maharaj was trying to get on the lap of his father, Suruchi, his stepmother, became very envious of the child, and with great pride she began to speak so as to be heard by the king himself. Queen Suruchi told Dhruva Maharaj, "My dear child, you do not deserve to sit on the throne or on the lap of the king. Surely you are also the son of the king, but because you did not take your birth from my womb, you are not qualified to sit on your father's lap. My dear child, you are unaware that you were born not of my womb, but of another woman. Therefore, you should know that your attempt is doomed to failure. You're trying to fulfill a desire which is impossible to fulfill. If you at all desire to rise to throne of the king, then you have to undergo severe austerities. First of all, you must satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. And then, when you are favored by him because of such worship, you shall have to take your next birth from my womb." The sage Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidura, as a snake, when struck by a stick, breathes very heavily, Dhruva Maharaj, having been struck by the strong words of his stepmother, began to breathe very heavily because of great anger. When he saw that his father was silent and did not protest, he immediately left the palace and went to his mother. When Dhruva Maharaj reached his mother, his lips were trembling in anger, and he was crying very grievously. Queen Suniti immediately lifted her son onto her lap, while the palace residents who had heard all the harsh words of Suruchi related everything in detail. Thus, Suniti also became greatly aggrieved. This incident was unbearable to Suniti's patience. She began to burn as if in a forest fire, and in her grief she became just like a burnt leaf and so lamented. As she remembered the words of her co-wife, her bright lotus-like face filled with tears, and thus she spoke. She also was breathing very heavily, and she did not know the factual remedy for painful situation. Not finding any remedy, she said to her son, "My dear son, don't wish for anything inauspicious for others. Anyone who inflicts pain upon others suffers himself from that pain." Suniti said, "My dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi is so because the king, your father, does not consider me his wife or even his maidservant. He feels ashamed to accept me. Therefore, it is a fact that you have taken birth from the womb of an unfortunate woman, and by being fed from her breast, you have grown up. My dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi, your stepmother, although were harsh to hear, is factual. Therefore, if you desire at all to sit on the same throne as your stepbrother, Uttama, then give up your envious attitude and immediately try to execute the instructions of your stepmother. Without further delay, you must engage yourself in worshipping the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Suniti continued, "The Supreme Personality of Godhead is so great that simply by worshipping his lotus feet, your great grandfather, Lord Brahma, acquired the necessary qualifications to create this universe. Although he is unborn and is the chief of all living creatures, he is situated in that exalted post because of the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom even great yogis worship by controlling the mind and regulating the life air, prana." Suniti informed her son, "Your grandfather, Swayambhuva Manu, executed great sacrifices with distribution of charity, and thereby with unflinching faith and devotion, he worshipped and satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness and afterwards achieved liberation, which is impossible to obtain by worshipping the demigods. My dear boy, you also should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is very kind to his devotees. Persons seeking liberation from the cycle of birth and death always take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord in devotional service. Becoming purified by executing your allotted occupation, just situate the Supreme Personality of Godhead in your heart, and without deviating for a moment, engage yourself always in His service. My dear Dhruva, as far as I am concerned, I do not find anyone who can mitigate your distress but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose eyes are like lotus petals. Many demigods, such as Lord Brahma, seek the pleasure of the goddess of fortune. But the goddess of fortune herself, with a lotus flower in her hand, is always ready to render service to the Supreme Lord. The great sage Maitreya continued. The instruction of Dhruva Maharaj's mother, Suniti, was actually meant for fulfilling his desired objective. Therefore, after deliberate consideration and with intelligence and fixed determination, he left his father's house. The great sage Narada overheard this news, and understanding all activities of Dhruva Maharaj, he was struck with wonder. He approached Dhruva and touching the boy's head with his all virtuous hand, he spoke as follows. How wonderful are the powerful Kshatriyas! They cannot tolerate even a slight infringement upon their prestige. Just imagine, this boy is only a small child, yet harsh words from his stepmother proved unbearable to him. The great sage Narada told Dhruva, my dear boy, you are only a little boy whose attachment is to sports and other frivolities. Why are you so affected by words insulting your honor? My dear Dhruva, if you feel that your sense of honor has been insulted, you still have no cause of dissatisfaction. This kind of dissatisfaction is another feature of illusory energy. Every living entity is controlled by his previous actions, and therefore there are different varieties of life for enjoying or suffering. The process of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very wonderful. One who is intelligent should accept that process and be satisfied with whatever comes favorable or unfavorable by his supreme will. Now you have decided to undertake the mystic process of meditation under the instruction of your mother, just to achieve the mercy of the Lord. But in my opinion, such austerities are not possible for an ordinary man. It is very difficult to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Narada Muni continued, after trying this process for many births and remaining unattached to material contamination, placing themselves continually in trance and executing many types of austerities, many mystic yogis were unable to find the end of the path of God realization. For this reason, my dear boy, you should not endeavor for this. It will not be successful. It is better that you go home. When you are grown up, by the mercy of the Lord, you will get a chance for this mystic performances. At that time, you may execute this function. One should try to keep himself satisfied in any condition of life, whether distress or happiness, which is offered by the Supreme Will. A person who endures in this way is able to cross over the darkness of nescience very easily. Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate towards him. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. Dhruva Maharaj said, my dear Lord Naradaji, for a person whose heart is disturbed by the material conditions of happiness and distress, whatever you have so kindly explained for attainment of peace of mind is certainly a very good instruction. But as far as I am concerned, I am covered by ignorance, and this kind of philosophy does not touch my heart. My dear Lord, I am very impudent for not accepting your instruction, but this is not my fault. It is due to my having been born in a Kshatriya family. My stepmother Suruchi has pierced my heart with her harsh words. Therefore, your valuable instruction does not stand in my heart. O learned Brahmana, I want to occupy a position more exalted than any yet achieved within the three worlds by anyone, even by my fathers and my grandfathers. If you will oblige, kindly advise me of an honest path to follow by which I can achieve the goal of my life. My dear Lord, you are a worthy son of Lord Brahma, and you travel playing on your musical instrument, the veena, for the welfare of the entire universe. You are like the sun, which rotates in the universe for the benefit of all living beings. The sage Maitreya continued. The great personality Narada Muni, upon hearing the words of Dhruva Maharaj, became very compassionate toward him. And in order to show him his causeless mercy, he gave him the following expert advice. The great sage Narada told Dhruva Maharaj, the instruction given by your mother Suniti to follow the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is just suitable for you. You should therefore completely absorb yourself in the devotional service of the Lord.
Yep. Here, can we stop?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I was thinking even to go through these itself will take some time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mataji. What did you find reading?
Yeah, it was very good. Especially the mental situation of Dhruva Maharaj and then Narada Muni convincing him for going back. It's nice that a spiritual master is testing us whether we are ready for the instructions or no. It's that he wants to understand his disciple, whether he's prepared for his instructions. And I like even Dhruva Maharaj convincing him so nicely by giving an example that he's a son and
Boy, yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yep. Thank you. Maybe can I ask Shweta Mataji, can you check with Garima if she can join?
Yes, I have already sent her message.
Okay,
She
you're
hasn't
waiting.
replied. Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know who else can check with Venimada Prabhu if he can join. I think he's back from Apu Prabhu. Can you check with him?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Then we begin. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Omagyanatimirandhasya Gyananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Vitapadakamalan Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadut Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lita Shri Vishakha Anvitam Shanamam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminithi Namne Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatyadesatarine Panchakalpatarabhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Nastapayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamastoke Bhakti Bhavati Nastiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govinda. Okay, let's go to the top. So So this fourth canto, we have covered Daksha Yajna, Daksha sacrifice, where we get to know the glories of Lord Shiva. And then after that, Vidura is asking Maitreya Rishi, okay, what about the dynasty of Swayambhu Manu? And then Maitreya Muni picked up the topic or the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. Like last Saturday, we discussed that Dhruva Maharaj is son of Uttanapada, and who is son of Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu had three daughters, Prasuti, Akuti, and Devahuti, and two sons, Priyavrata and Uttanapada. Priyavrata, though being elder son, Maitreya Rishi immediately picked up the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj, uh, mainly because that Dhruva Maharaj is a great devotee, and that immediately Maitreya could meditate upon. Yeah, his thoughts went in this direction, and then he started explaining this to Vidura. Yeah, here we see the great sage Maitreya said the four great Kumaras sages headed by Sanaka, as well as Narada, Ribu, Hamsa, Aruni, Yati, all the sons of Brahma, did not live at their home. Though Lord Brahma had a plan that his progenation will expand the population in the universe, but what happened were they were not interested. They were Naistika Brahmacharis. And then the other son of Lord Brahma was irreligion. This also, we discussed that Lord Brahma was tasked not just to create goodness, otherwise we would just continue in this world thinking that there is nothing superior than mode of goodness. So there were also these other, Lord Brahma's son, religion, was born, Adharma, and whose wife name is falsity, and from their combination were born Damba and Maya. Yeah, so this is what we discussed. These two demons were taken by a demon named Niriti, who had no children. And then, anyway, this is also the lineage that is still prevalent, which we can see how the whole universe is being affected by a religion. It is being created by Brahma as a matter of duty. He didn't had any pleasure. This is what we know, that from the third canto, when everything was being created, Brahma was not satisfied until he has created a human. So, and then, my dear Vidura, I have summarily explained the causes of devastation. And because by knowing what it means, a devastation, a intelligent person, what he will do, he will understand that he shouldn't go to that territory. Yeah. So if you want to have this fear management, if you want to manage death management, if you want to manage the good speech management, whatever all this harsh speech, how to control it, and how to handle the effects of Kali. We are in Kali Yuga. Manda, Sumanda Mate. So we are very dull-headed. Not only that, Manda Bhagya. We are also are not so fortunate. Um, Manda Bhagya. He Upadrita. So it says that we are in this yuga, so the effects are even more stronger. And from their combination were born Kali and his sister Durukti. So in this age, the voices are very high. We want to show our presence by our voice, and by voice it means not by singing very nicely, not by speaking very friendly to build intimacy. No, we want to express our voice with to show our power, or to gain power. So all this is being part of the creation. So then then we come to this. Now Maitreya is continuing. I shall now describe to you the descendants of Swayambhu Manu, who was born of a part of a plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Swayambhu Manu is a partial expansion of the Lord. who had 3 daughters, 2 sons, and and once upon a time, King Uttanapada was patting the son of Suruchi. So we discussed this also, that Dhruva tries to get on the lap of uh, King's get on King's lap, but King did not very much welcome him. Yeah, this was because that he was though the king was affectionate towards both the sons, but because of his favoritism, yeah, towards Suruchi, then what happened? He could not welcome Dhruv, despite of his feelings. So usually, when a person is simple, the feelings will rule him. And when one is affected by rationalism, then he is more affected by rationalism, and yeah, we saw that what happened to in the case of Daksha Yagya. Past time we see that when Sati went to when Sati went to her house, then immediately Sati's mother, sisters, they they left all those. They overcame their um, uh, restrictions, or what do you call, lines of boundary, whatever. Yeah, Daksha would have kept. They have crossed, and they immediately welcomed her, spoke some sweet words. They were more driven by the feelings, whereas we see Daksha was hard-hearted, where he was saying, hey, "How can? What will happen if I do this? Am I encouraging this?" So many logical things that come into mind, and then because of that, um, uh, yeah. So here we see that the feelings, yeah, for a simple person, yeah, if one is very simple, then he is very close to the Lord, because he is not putting a filter which can lead to manipulation, which can lead to not able to take the path of dharma, not to, yeah, here in this case, yeah, Uttanapada, because of his filter of favoritism, he was scared what will happen. A big disaster can evolve from anything, just like I refer to this example that a person who has once seen a snake in his lawn, though he has seen only once, all the time when he is going to his lawn, he's always feared. What will happen? Oh, might be that the snake is there somewhere in some corner under a bush or a tree or on the tree or wherever, the whole 3D space of that lawn. He is scared what can happen, so he doesn't even want to go there until uh, uh, until few hundreds of people would have gone there and they came back. There is no danger. Maybe he may have some faith or some, not faith, some um, what do you call, some hesitation. It leaves that hesitation behind. Otherwise, yeah, it can. In the similar way, in the favoritism, what may happen is that what will happen if I do something in that fear. Uttanapada, he didn't encourage his Dhruva to take in on his lap. And while Dhruva was trying to get on the lap of his father, that was not enough. Yeah, he was whatever he was carrying was really, yeah, happening, because Surichi, who is his wife, she was filled up with envy and pride. Seeing this, Surichi became very, very Irsham and Garvita, and with great pride she started speaking. What is she spoke? That straight away, you do not deserve to sit on the throne. This can only happen as soon as when we are saying, hey, you are not qualified, as soon as when we are talking about you do not deserve, or when we think that you are not yet there. uh, yeah, yeah, you are low. All these feelings about others is coming when we are covered with our own envy and also pride. Irsham Garvita. So because of these two things, thus the harsh words. Uh, will flow out of our mouth, just like Katham Karan Maharaj often says that it's like a uh, frogs coming out of our mouth. Just like yeah, as long as we have closed our mouth, that's fine. As soon as when we open, all that croaking, making all the noise that comes out. And so she started speaking that, and then she started saying, you don't deserve all this, so you do not deserve to sit on the lap of your father's lap or the throne. As last time we also said, the concern of Suruchi was not just sitting on the lap. Of course, what is big harm in that? But the challenge is also that if Dhruva is sitting on the throne, it can appear like, okay, he's also eligible, being a king, son of the king, can also become the prince and can also become the king later. So she want to cut it at this age. Come on, at age of 5 years when Dhruva was, she already started telling. This is another thing that people who are very diplomatic in a negative way, what they do is they always are not concerned about the feelings of others. Suruchi was not concerned, he's a boy of 5, what will happen to him? Can he really comprehend what I'm going to speak? Can he really understand and start behaving? No. She want to make a point that she is speaking through Dhruva to Uttanapada. So smart. So that is what is diplomacy is. So here, and then she says, it's impossible desire. What do you have? Why? Because you have born through what? Anya Sri Garbham Sampratam. You have appeared in others, another woman's womb. So because of that, whatever you desire will be impossible to achieve. You shall have to take your birth, next birth, from my womb. And even that's not an ordinary thing. To take birth in my womb, you need to have a lot of punya. For that, what you do? First of all, you must satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan. So what she said is, it's so difficult, but what I'm also saying, the way, if you still desire to sit on the lap, king's lap, what you should do is tapasaradhya purusham. Who is that tapasaradhya purusham? Narayana. That personality who is pleased by tapasya. Is by that way you can fulfill. After satisfying him, tasyai vanugrahena, place yourself in my womb. Only after getting the anugraha, not even just engaging in the process, and you can't expect that in day 2 or day 3 you can already become successful. Only after Lord is pleased and after he has granted his mercy that you can appear in my womb, then you can appear. So here, that was too much. These are the words, not even the arrows. But what can happen is that sometimes the words are even sharper than the arrows. Of course, the wounds that are created by arrows can heal quickly than the wounds that are created by the words. So that's why it's very important. Yeah, we usually see that people talk less. Why? Because they do not want to hurt others. It's not that they cannot talk. Of course, if one is not able to talk, he will also talk less. And if one who can talk a lot but still understands that what is to be spoken, yeah, also we see both appear to be same. But what is happening is one who is not talking in spite of he knows he is a yogi because he knows when to engage himself in the action which is the best for him for getting the best result. So, and Dhruva Maharaj became very angry because these words were Durukti. We were talking in Kali, what were there? Durukti and Kali. Kali's sister Durukti. So Dhruva became very angry and he started breathing very heavily because of these words that struck him. When he saw that his father was silent and did not protest, who else? There was only one. He is also being his father. He was hoping that, oh, my father will help me out. But the father kept silent. The father was silent because of his own uh, uh, fears. It's not that he didn't had feelings. He had checked his feelings. He has controlled his feelings. So this is another important thing. When to control ourselves? Yeah, usually we have to. We usually hear, right? Okay, check your feelings. These feelings, when they are harmful, we should check them, and we should not check the feelings that are helpful. So when Dhruva Maharaj reached his mother, this is what he started explaining. And when he came, seeing him trembling, uh, Queen Suniti took him on his lap, on her lap, and others were telling what Suruchi spoke. And now Suniti became very aggrieved. He was thinking, until now I am the one who is suffering because of the household affairs. Now how come that this now is also falling on my son? She became very, very angry that it became unbearable for Suniti's patience. Yeah. And she lamented, and in she lamented, she burned, uh, was feeling great burning out of grief, and then um, uh, not knowing any remedy for painful situation, Suniti spoke to Dhruva because uh, this this incident was unbearable. As she remembered the words of her co-wife, Lotus face like filled with tears, and thus she spoke. And what happened is, in this, she was saying, "Okay, you know what? Whatever, whatever um, uh, has happened, do not wish ill fortune for others. Ma mangalam tata pareshu mamstha." Because one who inflicts pain upon others suffer himself from that pain. Bhungte janoyat para dukkhadas tatva. This is what Suniti is saying. Suniti is saying that okay, uh, um, so please don't do that. And then she is also saying Satyam, Surichi, whatever she has spoken is really true. What she said is because your father feels ashamed to accept me as his wife. This is what she is telling her own situation also with that. Do not consider me his wife or even his maidservant. He feels ashamed to accept me. Therefore, it is a fact that you have taken birth from a womb, unfortunate woman. So, and further, so now he's saying, okay, these words are harsh, but it's actually fact. So because your father feels ashamed to accept me, and whatever the words of your stepmother were, execute her instruction. Why? Because this is fact. Hmm? And upon only by worshipping the Lord's feet. I don't know this further. Yeah. Only by worshipping. Here it says यस्यांघ्रि पद्मं परिचर्य विश्व विभावनायत्त गुणाभिपत्ते. So here is saying that just who have attained success by this process is Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, who was lost when he was created, just by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, he was successful. Yeah, Lord Brahma acquired necessary qualification to create the universe. And then also Swayambhu Manu, here we see तथा मनुर्वा भगवान पितामहो यम ekamatya puru dakshineer makhai. So here he says that what did he attain? I mean, of course, we hear in the end, uh, in the third canto, we hear what after Swayambhu Manu gives his daughter, and after he rules the kingdom, then he attains perfection by practicing bhakti. By how? By he worshipped and satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness. So after all, what your what your stepmother, what your mother has said is in fact the nice solution. And then, so now Suniti instructs her son. Tam eva vatsa tam eva vatsashraya britham vatsalam. Take shelter of that who is the Bhrithya Vatsalam, one who can give care, one can give protection, one can give shelter. Who is he? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is very kind to his devotees. And how much kind he is? Million times more than the kindness of mother. I think that is in the purport, or let me see. My dear son, you should also take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is very kind to his devotees. Person seeking liberation from cycle of birth and death. Mumukshubir mrugya padabja padhatim ananya bhave nijadharma bhavite manasi avasthapya bhajasva purusham. So in that means one can, here it says Pratya Vatsalya, which indicates that he is very kind. She said, you came to me crying, having been insulted by your stepmother, but I am unable to do any good for you. But Krishna is so kind, how much kind that that if you go to him, then the combined kindness of millions of mothers like me will be surpassed by his affectionate and tender dealings. So Queen Suniti also stressed that the process of approaching the Supreme Lord is not easy, but is sought after great sages who are very advanced in spiritual realization. So this is also what Narada Muni will say later. That is the special significance of Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, she advised him not to accept worship of demigods or any other process, but simply to take to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the result would be all perfection. As soon as one places the Supreme Personality of Godhead within one's heart, everything becomes easy and successful. And then here finally she says that, okay, Nanyam tatha padma palasa lochanad dukkham chiddam te mrgayami kanchana yo mrugyate hasta grihita padmaya shriyetarer anga vimra vim what is that vimragya vimragya manaya. So as far as I am concerned, I do not find anyone who can mitigate your distress. So if we remember this, we understand that even in distressful condition, whom to take shelter. Usually people, as soon as a small test comes in one life, or if some disaster happens in our life that we cannot uh, bear, then first thing we can blame is the Lord, because we think that ourselves we have done great devotion, we think that we have invested our complete faith upon the Lord, and after investing so much, after putting so much faith in him, he has ditched me. No, no, that's not the case. Ultimately, even this in the happiness or distress, which are because of our own deeds, yeah, and Lord doesn't want to interfere. So the cause and effect, though ultimately are granted by the Lord, but still it is that our will through which we have attracted it. And when it is coming, how can the Lord interfere? So in the times of happiness or distress, the Lord to be sorted out is the Supreme personality of Godhead, whose eyes are like what Lochana? They are Palasa Lochana, Padma Palasa, like the petals of the lotus flower. And many demigods, such as Lord Brahma, seeks the pleasure of the goddess of fortune, but the goddess of fortune herself, with a lotus flower in her hand, is always ready to render service to the Supreme Lord. And I don't know if it is in this purport or some other purport. Let's see together. Okay. Worshippers of goddess of fortune and Lord Vishnu together are certainly very opulent in all respects, even in material life. Usually people may think, okay, Lord Vishnu will take away my material comforts. No. If we really worship properly, if we really worship, what is that properly means? Not just to worship only goddess of fortune separately or feeling independently. No. When we worship Radha Krishna and his manifest and their lordship manifestations of Lakshmi and Narayan, Lakshmi, Vishnu, Sita, Ram. So when we worship, then what we get is are certainly very opulent in all respects, even in material life. The Lord is sometimes described as Siva Virinchi Nutan, which means Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma also offer their respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for their own pleasure, for their own bliss and um, success. They approach everyone, including demigods, approach the Lord. So now I think we also covered this. Sorry if it's kind of boring. I don't know. I'm just trying to bring few other points apart from what we discussed on last Saturday. So here after this, what happens? The instructions of Dhruva Maharaj's mother Suniti, after hearing, was actually meant for fulfilling his desired objective. Therefore, after deliberate consideration and with intelligence, we're talking about a 5-year-old boy who has the skills to consider, apply his intelligence, and get fixed determination, he left his father's house. And here, Prabhupada is referring to this. Yeah, why can't the question may come, right? Okay, why to go to the forest? Yeah, did Suniti or Surichi or anyone say no? But it is very obvious in those times that if we want to focus on the Lord, where we do is go to secluded places. And what is that secluded place? Yeah, when we refer to Bhagavatam, the instructions of Prahlad Maharaj, it is the instruction of Prahlad Maharaj also that if one is seeking peace of mind, he should free himself from all contamination of family life and take shelter of the Supreme Lord by going to the forest. Vanam Gate. So, when Hiranyakashipu is asking Prahlad Maharaj, and in that context, Prahlad Maharaj is saying Vanam Gate. So he's saying, first of all, this material life, household business is a kind of a dark, deep pit or a kunda. And one what has to understand is that one to free himself has to leave to the forest. And what kind of vana? It is none other than Vrindavan. To the Gaudiya Vaishnava, this forest is the forest of Vrinda or Vrindavan. If one takes shelter of Vrindavan or Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani, certainly all the problems of his life are solved very easily. So, and after learning that Dhruva left to the forest, Narada was very much, when he overheard this, he was astonished. And we see that Narada know about Dhruva because Narada is Trikalagya. Yeah. Thus the question may be arised how Narada overheard all these topics. The answer is that Narada is Trikalagya. That is one. And then, as soon as the Lord understands that a living entity is determined and serious, if I mean, because Lord being as a Paramatma in everyone's heart, as soon as he sees that someone is really determined, then he is ready to support, and he really supports. And this is the example And how do Lord support him? By showing spiritual master. It's not that spiritual master is not there, spiritual master is there, but the Lord is not showing, because then one may think spiritual master very casually, Guru, okay, what is so great about him? But as soon as when our vision and determination changes for good, so that we can embrace this position, like in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, he is in the position to take instructions. Because of this, Narada Muni came. One is because he is a Trikalagya, that the spiritual master is ever eager to, out of his compassion, to relieve the conditioned souls from the clutches of birth and death. So he is ever eager, and Lord also is ever eager to help. So in that way, therefore, after understanding the strong determination of Dhruva Maharaj, Narad Muni came. The Supreme Personality is present in everyone's heart, and as soon as he understands that a living entity is serious about entering devotional service, he sends his representative. In this way, Narada was sent to Dhruva Maharaj. And this is what we also hear. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. This is what. So, it is the Lord's causeless mercy and ever eagerness of the spiritual master through which one can develop this bhakti in one's heart. Otherwise, there is no chance. Because of Dhruva Maharaj's determination, Krishna immediately sent his representative Narada to initiate him. Until now, any questions? Because yeah, we are close to 1 hour, but if there are any questions, we can pick up and then pick the next part. Or last Saturday we discussed more or less till here. If not, we can go few more verses. Okay. So, so in that way, so Dhruva left the house, and Narada immediately took the opportunity. It is something like, as soon as one turns towards the Lord is arranging everything, and uh, the spiritual masters, are also very aptly, expertly look for opportunity when he can instruct his uh, disciples, or how he can enlighten the conditioned souls. So now, but Narada is actually, as Ratikeli Siddhi Mataji was mentioning, Narada didn't just take up saying, oh wow, he said, aho teja kshatriyanam. See, he's saying, what a glorious are these kshatriyas. What is happening? In a way that it is a kind of not appreciating the greatness of this kshatriya spirit. But at the same time also, he's saying, aho teja kshatriyanam manabhangam. Just if one's um, prestige is hurt, just for a matter of prestige, see what is happening is, Balopi, even though he is a child, I am Hrida Datte, so he is becoming, he is taking so much to his heart, just a prestige, and then yet Samatur Asad Vacha, and just because he heard from his stepmother unbearable words. So the qualification of Kshatriyas are described in Bhagavad Gita. Two important qualifications are to have a sense of prestige and not to flee from battle. It appears that Kshatriya blood within the body of Dhruva Maharaj was naturally very active. If Brahmanical Kshatriya or Vaishya culture is maintained in a family, naturally the sons and grandsons inherit the spirit of particular class. Therefore, there is so much. For a common man, we may think that, okay, why is he going so much? I would just duck, something like if someone is shooting, I'll find a way so that I can protect myself. Rather, a kshatriya, he is seeing his lineage, his ancestors, how they uplifted the name of his dynasty, and he doesn't want to step back. So if one fails to observe the reformatory measure, measures current in the family, one is immediately degraded to a lower status of life. So when we are talking about varnashrama, we understand that this varnashrama is so important, but at the same time we have to understand that the purpose is maintaining that is not to fall to the lower standard of life. So varnashrama is to come to a level of mode of goodness. And Narada is now saying, and now from here, very interesting. नादुनापि अवमानं ते सम्मानं वापि पुत्रक लक्षयामः कुमारस्य शक्तस्य क्रीडनादिषु. So he's saying you're only a little boy whose attachment is to sports. We like sports all the time. Even if the kids now, we see that we want to always play. Yeah, even grown up, we always want to play. What to talk about kids? So we feel that this is the age we want to play. There is no responsibility, no duties, nothing to look after. Everything is provided. Hmm. Why are you so affected by the words insulting your honor? Hmm? But if you are so he's saying that this honor and dishonor is very important here. Usually we have this, we have to maintain honor. I'm finding insult, I think in the purport. Similarly, if words of honor are offered, he does not appreciate them. But in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, the Kshatriya spirit was so strong that he could not tolerate a slight insult from his stepmother. Ordinarily, if a child is rebuked or as a rascal or fool, he smiles and does not take such insulting words very seriously. But being a Kshatriya and being hurt, Dhruva took it very serious. So now, okay, maybe, yeah, okay. Vikalpe vidyamanepi nahi asantosha hetava pumso moham rite bhinna yalloke nija karma bihi. So here is saying, okay, alternations um, uh, are there, and during that time, if you feel that your sense of honor has been insulted, okay, yeah, maybe you have grown up or you have maturity or whatever, that you start seeing what is honor and not, you still have no cause for dissatisfaction. Why? This kind of dissatisfaction is another feature of the Lord, of illusory energy. Huh? Every living entity is controlled by his previous actions, and therefore there are different varieties of lives for enjoying or suffering. He's saying, okay, even in that case, if you think that your honor is hurt, don't take it serious, my son. And then, so here he's saying, uh, so an intelligent person, he's saying, given the process of the supreme personality of Godhead is very wonderful. One who is intelligent should accept that process and be satisfied with whatever comes, favorable or unfavorable, by supreme will. And in this context, we discussed about what is the difference between free will and supreme will, if you remember. So everything is, though we have our independence, but still it is governed by the supreme will. Ata matropadeshit sorry. Ata matropadishtena yogenavarur see, yeah. So this is saying, yeah, whatever your mother has instructed is not practical. Yet prasadam savai pumsam duraradhyo mato mama. So my opinion is that whatever your mom has said, it's very difficult. It's not, but in my opinion, such austerities are not possible for any ordinary man. So whatever the bhakti yoga that your mother Suniti has said, it's not practical. So this is what Narada Muni is saying. And Narada Muni, who is a Bhakti Vedantist and who practices Bhakti Yoga, and who, what do you call this? People who vouch for it. Um, who preach, yeah, let's use this. Who preach all the time about Bhakti Yoga, he's saying to this boy that, hey, this is very difficult. Yeah? Usually we come across so many verses that, oh, okay, Bhakti Yoga is the most sublime, simplest form. But Narada Muni, he is saying that it's not easy. It is very difficult to satisfy. This process of accepting so here, the the process of Bhakti Yoga is simultaneously very difficult and very easy to perform. So it is difficult and easy. So if we know how to do it, it's very easy. If we don't know, then it's very difficult. How we see so many rishis when they want to go in the path of seeking, it becomes very difficult. And when one is just accepting a spiritual master and with full 100% faith, if they are following, it is very simple. So Narad Muni is testing Dhruva Maharaj to see how determined he is to prosecute devotional service. This is the process of accepting a disciple. So the spiritual master, I mean, this is also, we know that spiritual master and disciple, they don't just simply on day one, they accept a deal of this relationship. No, the spiritual master is testing, is he ready? Is he ready to embrace this path? Or what may happen if he doesn't know how to do? I don't know if this is correct. Usually the patra, right? Tiger milk, when to hold the milk, what is used? Forgot. The patra, if it is steel or something, it will break, or the stone, if it breaks. Does anyone remember about this example? No one has come across it. But there is something. So it also is very important what kind of vessel that we use to hold. So when such kind of valuable instructions come, can we hold it, or we just think it's too much and it will just break us, which means that we may just accept for a social status, prestige, fame, whatever, we may accept someone as a spiritual master, but if we do not understand the instructions and we pretend to be in that position and act like a disciple, it is very dangerous. Just like a fox um, tattooing itself with the tiger strains, so it will only burn. I'll look up this example about the milk and the tiger's milk and the vessel. But so it is a fact, however, that for a sincere person, devotional service is very easy. But for one who is not determined and sincere, this process is very difficult. So what Narad Muni is doing, he is testing this. How? And now he is even saying, Munaya padavim, Munaya padavim yasya nisangenoru janmabhi navidur mragayanto api tivra yoga samadhina. So in spite of doing tivra yoga, severe austerities, after trying this process for many births and remaining unattached to material contamination, placing themselves continually in trance and executing many types of austerities, many mystic yogis were unable to find the end of the path of God realization. In spite of so much, what are they doing? They're investing their time, which we usually struggle to get. We think that, oh no, my time I have to divide it to Harikatha is too much. Come on. After all, I'm working Monday to Friday, and it is only Saturday and Sunday. I have some time for myself. But actually, if we see, because when we are asking sometimes some people, okay, can you join this journey of self-discovery? When is it happening? Sunday, come on. Sunday is the only day it's for me. Why? Because Monday to Friday we are earning so hard, earning so much money, and because we have earned that money, we need to enjoy. So, or to recover from that strain, we think Sunday is my day. Yeah, but to hear Katha, what is harm? If we don't hear Harikatha, we will hear some other nonsense. If we don't engage our senses properly, then what will happen? We ourselves will get into more problem. Then we'll not stop working on Monday to Friday. It will go to Saturday. It will go to Sunday, and then we work 7 days a week. And then we ourselves start cursing. What kind of life I am leading? This life? No. Who made it? We blame the Lord. We blame our managers. saying, hey, my manager is very cruel, he doesn't understand me, that I am also a living being, I also have family, yeah, and he's giving so much work, yeah, who is taking the work? And then we come across like, okay, working during Saturday, Sunday, or vacations, yeah. So what happens is that we are so much absorbed in it that we do not understand that after all, this is only our side business. Our real business is to become Krishna conscious. Our real business is to become devotee. Our real business is to solve our problems of life. We think that by working, by earning money, we think that we can solve our problems of life ourselves. We think that there is no one around us who can help us. Lord is too far for me. He's sitting somewhere in the clouds, sitting in the sky, and too far for me to reach. No, Lord is present inside us in this exact body. He is with us. Though we have so much impurities in our body, even if we ourselves could get a vision to see, uh, to go into our body and see who we are, uh, we may get disgusted. What kind of bad feelings I have? What kind of um, kalmasha? What is that? Dirt that is stored inside. Uh, who will stay there? Even ourselves, we want to run away from that. Am I so bad? Really? Am I so bad that I was always thinking I'm very good, I'm perfect, I'm so nice. I don't want. Always I'm thinking about like that. But when I really reflect, when I really, by the vision given by the Lord, if I introspect myself correctly, I understand I am. What is it? I am a hopeless. I'm a hopeless case. And who is staying with us in spite of that? It is the Lord who is staying. So Lord is not very far away, and that He is not reachable, not accessible at all. No, He is present within our heart. And if we want to solve our problems of life, it is not the manager who can solve our problem, it is not the companies that will solve our problem, it is not the schools, university, it is the Lord who can solve the problem of our existence, of our mistakes. And now, I mean, anyway, coming back to the theme here, right? After trying this process for many, many births and remaining unattached to material contamination. So we are talking still at a platform of material contamination, but here we are talking, Narad Muni is telling about those yogis who have purified their senses. They are way above us, and placing themselves continually in trance. Yogi in dhyana, what they are doing is they are seeing the super soul, Paramatma, meditating upon him and executing many types of austerities. Many mystic yogis, many mystic yogis were um unable to find the end of the path of God realization. So this is what, just imagine, what will you say? Then it's too difficult for me. So this is what Narada Muni was checking whether Dhruva is ready for Diksha. You all want to know, okay. And then here it says that therefore you should give up. Ato nivartatam yesha nirbandhas tava nishphala. Nishphala means what? No result, na? Without any result. Yeah, nishphala. Yatishyati bhavan kale shreyasam samupastite. You do one thing, don't do it now. Yeah. When you are grown up, by the mercy of the Lord, you will get a chance for these mystic performances. At that time, you may execute this function. So, another, just saying like, don't stress yourself. Subah subah kahan utna hai? Early morning wake up is too much. Yeah? If Narad Muni is telling us, and then say, see, Mahabhagavat is coming and telling this truth that hey, getting up is not required. Maybe in future. Yeah, maybe in future we can take it up. Here is saying, for this reason, my dear boy, you should not endeavor for this. It will not be successful. Then we say, hey, when I think I, if I am thinking like that, it's okay. But see, great personalities like Narada are telling, don't endeavor. Uh, Guru is telling, don't do this, don't do this. It is too much for you. Hmm? Yeah, that is the moment of test. That is the moment of test. And when you are grown up, by the mercy of the Lord, you will get a chance for these mystic performances. At that time, you may execute this function. Hmm? Generally, a thoroughly trained person takes to spiritual perfection at the end of his life. According to Vedic, someone has a message. Hmm. You can't see my screen. I'm still sharing.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji, I can't see the screen. I can see the participants actually. Only the participants, not the screen.
Let me try again.
But you can ask other members if they are, maybe they are, this is only my problem maybe.
I don't know. I'm just trying now. Can you see it now? Maybe
Now it's coming.
otherwise.
Yes,
It's
yes, now
coming.
it's there. Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. So here, according to Vedic system, therefore, life is divided into 4 stages. In the beginning, one becomes a brahmachari, a student who studies Vedic knowledge under the authoritative guidance of a spiritual master. So whatever we are talking about brahmachari or brahmacharya life, right? Until it is directed in a gurukul setup, yeah, it's not like okay, one is going to a place, living there for many days under the guidance of a spiritual master or a teachers there. Hmm. First of all, that is the topmost, but yeah, one can realize similar setup in the according to time, place, and circumstance. But what brahmacharya means is not just avoiding or being a celibate. That itself is not brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means that one is seeking the knowledge and instructions from an authoritative guidance of spiritual master. He then becomes a householder and executes household duties according to Vedic process. Then the household becomes a vanaprastha, and gradually, when he is mature, he renounces household life. So this is the process. And generally, people think that childhood is meant for enjoying life by engaging oneself in sports and play. You know that, right? Prahlad Maharaj was saying, yeah, at that age itself, he said that all this is not uh, important. This is not life, actually. What we think is life. Yeah, if we go and talk to a materialist and we say, hey, this is not life, he will simply see from top to down and says, what kind of person you are? You are hatke hai. You are totally not normal. Youth is meant for enjoying the company of young girls, and when one becomes old at the time of death, then he may try to execute devotional service or a mystic yoga process. But this conclusion is not for devotees who are actually serious. It is not that, okay, yeah, this is the instruction of Narad Muni that, okay, don't engage, don't become so serious. Yeah, there is so much time, let us do it later. No, when we can actually become serious of devotional process, we should not waste time. The great sage Narada is instructing Dhruva just to test him. Actually, the direct order is that from any point of life, one should begin rendering devotional service. What does that mean? As soon as now I know devotional life is the best, I should do it immediately, not wait for a age. I am still not in the age group of 40. I am not in the age group of 50 to 60 or 60 above. What is it called? Nowadays, senior citizenship age is increasing na? Everywhere. It has gone from 68 to 70, 72. Uh, so the retirement life will only start after, yeah, if luckily one is physically fit and also even physically living. I don't know. But it is the duty of spiritual master to test this disciple to see how seriously he desires to execute devotional service. Then he may be initiated. So, and then finally, Narad Muni is saying, okay, this is not for you, boy. Yes, yet daiva vihitam. Destiny is there. Satena sukha dukkhayo. Atmanam toshayan dehi tamasa param rachati. So here is saying one should try to keep himself satisfied in any condition of life. This is what sometimes we see people, na? Probably please join journey of self-discovery or this Bhakta course or this Hari Katha or Bhagavad Gita. They say, come on, why should I join? Adirasa Prabhu, why should I join when everything is going fine, right, in my life? Such a great maturity.
Yes, Prabhuji.
But here, Narad Muni is saying one should try to keep himself satisfied in any condition of life. Maybe he is satisfying, he has great quality of satisfying himself. He is not disturbed. Whether distress or happiness which is offered by the Supreme Will, that is even what do you call a yogi stage, right? A very elevated stage. A person who endeavors in this way is able to cross over the darkness of nescience very easily. Isn't it so nice? But what is happening? Material existence consists of pious and impious fruit to activity. As long as one is engaged in any kind of activity other than devotion and service, it will result in happiness and distress. Which means that if we think that I don't have to become a devotee, I don't have to engage in devotional service until he is doing that, he is under the jurisdiction of Maya, material energy. And what is happening in the process of working, functioning in the material energy is that we create karma or vikarma. There is always some good thing or a bad thing, good thing or a bad thing. And this is keep on coming, happiness and distress. And when we are put into suffering, it is to be understood that we are diminishing the resultant actions of our impious activities. Instead of being attached to the circumstantial happiness and distress resulting from pious or impious activities, if we want to get out of the clutches of this nescience, this is the argument. Why should we have this moment of happiness for a moment and sadness for a moment? Let's wind it up. For that, what we should do, we should accept the Lord. Thus, if we simply surrender unto the Supreme Person of Godhead, we shall get out of the clutches of this material existence. So, Narad Muni's another trick was that okay, yeah, whatever happiness you may have got or distress you have got, it is just accept it. And from this verse we will discuss next week, because now every man should act like this. This is what it goes. Or let me finish this 34 verse, 34th verse. This is also final instruction from final test from Narad Muni. Every man, here is saying gunadikan mudam lipset anukrosham gunadhamat maitrim samanad anvichen na taper abhi bhuyate. He's saying every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, what he should do? He should be very pleased. And when he meets someone less qualified than him, he should be compassionate toward him. And when he meets someone equal to him, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of life. Isn't it? Perfect instruction how to deal, right? Why Narad Muni is saying like this? Based on your circumstance, you need to find a way of this and adjust, because in this way you can avoid the threefold miseries. There are the great sage Narad therefore advises that a devotee should act perfectly. Instead of being envious of a more qualified person, one should be jolly to receive him. Instead of being oppressive to a less qualified man, one should be compassionate towards him, just to raise him to the proper standard. And when one meets an equal, instead of being proud of one's own activities before him, one should treat him as a friend. I don't know if Garima joined. One should also have compassion for the people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. This is very, 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 very important. I think we could even say message. Yeah, where if we write this somewhere and in our mind, definitely, but also somewhere where we can regularly see, our life transforms for very good. One should always have compassion for the people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. These important functions will make one happy within this material world. Yeah, I'll stop here. Then we'll take it remaining next week. Thank you very much. Anyone want to add, share, comment? Any points that you think you can take it from this? Any points that you heard from the session today?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhuji, as you said, the last verse in itself is one very nice verse, which I would like to always remember and take. Yeah, and the few of the instruction by mothers.
Suniti.
Yeah, Suniti.
Okay, nice. Others? Who has joined with this iPhone name? I don't know. Who is that? Okay. What about others? Anything you found interesting from the session?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, I think what Mataji also said, na, this the instruction of Suniti to his son Dhruva, even though he was criticized by his stepmother, but she was still saying that do not think ill for others, even though whatever she said. So it's very nice instruction. Even if something happens to us or to our relatives, we would say we will show you what I will do to you. But he was calm and and also the instructions of what Narad Muni said that
So that is the cause of all this favoritism and grouping, right? People want to form groups in wherever communities so that their voice can be stronger. Just imagine if you ring one small bell, it will not have so much sound, right? Just imagine if there are so many bells and that you're ringing, then people know something is happening. So that's why what we do is that if you're disturbed by some person, what we do, we look for people who are disturbed by the same person. And then, I don't know, there is a niti, right? What is it? If we have a common enemy, then we both are friends, right? Have you heard this? Anyone heard this? No? So you have the same enemy, I have the same enemy, so we both becomes friends. Why? Because to overcome, subdue this, to subdue this enemy, these so-called friends will group up. So this groupism comes from there, where if we have compassion, we will not do this. We can, okay, let's ignore it. We will be in some other group, but at least that's nice. What do you say, Radhikali Mataji? What did you find important from this session?
Yeah, the last verse, is really good, but I think it's mentioned in one deep diving book of Maharaj, and it's one of the quality of an Uttamadhikari, which is really difficult to achieve.
But it's not so so foreign or alien that we can only, when we become Uttamadhikari, then let's do it. It's not like that. When we really are practicing now, so that becomes us the ability to come to that platform.
It's like even in one of the Bhakta course, I remember saying that Srila Prabhupada used to always switch his levels to speak accordingly to the disciples or the hippies or when he's talking. So it's
you have to switch the levels all the time. First, you have to get hold of your mind, and then we can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you have seen, what is this? 1 second. The recent verse, na? How to overcome the miseries? How to overcome the miseries? Like this, yeah. So whenever, whether happiness or distress, if we understand that it is offered by the supreme will, and just be satisfied. This is a nice devotee quality, right? To be just understanding every condition of life is still there is supreme will. Otherwise, why we'll get it? Usually, people will ask, "Na, is it because of me or is it because of the Lord I am suffering?"
Yeah.
So ultimately,
Yes.
even that suffering, even due to what I am doing, is still granted by the supreme will because he sees that this is what he wants and through which he can rectify. So the not involvement, the presence of the supreme will is always there. And with that firm faith, if we just satisfied with what is happening, yeah, then it's nice. And again, the previous verse is giving how to handle with which person in what way. And not this one. I think we missed one. So anyway, so it's nice. Yeah. Deepali Mata, you said Hare Krishna, you left or?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. You wanted to say something?
Just I want to say in last part you added that about timings, no? So we are busy for 6 days in working 5 days and we are not getting time, but this attending this all sessions really add so many little things that we can improve ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have to be disciplined, right? So there is no end for work. Yeah, when I'm doing some work now, I mean, yesterday I had my meeting with my manager. He said, okay, I think you have delivered whatever I had now. I have delivered it, yes. Oh, on one of the last days. So my manager was very happy. He sent out a mail, big thanks and all those things. And yesterday was my one-to-one. In that he was saying, I think you have now some more bandwidth, isn't it? I was just keeping it for you. There is some work for you. Now there is always work will be there.
And one more thing that I don't have that much of knowledge, but attending all this session, it's really helpful for me to develop myself in the spiritual path.
Yeah, the same for me as well. I don't have that knowledge, intelligence, what do you call piety? I don't know. It's only the grace of the Lord and spiritual master through which I am able to give little time, and it is indeed giving me a lot of comfort to practice bhakti. Yeah. What do you say, Omkareshwar Prabhu? Yeah, thanks, Deepali Mata.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. These courses are very good, Prabhuji. Regarding point also by you and Deepali Mataji. I sent the flyer to some of my friends, which I was thinking they will agree me and they will do the course. So try to convince, but exactly the same answer comes. It's Sunday. It's my Sunday. So I want to use my Sunday my way, and I have no time. So this is the typical answer. Yeah.
So that's why we take from the purport here that why just one Sunday? Why only one Sunday? You can enjoy all the 7 days if you give initial days to this katha, right, or to this device, because we are so greedy. Yeah, we are so much like, okay, yeah, it's my Sunday. I want to enjoy. Yeah, why to enjoy only one day? Just imagine that you can enjoy all days.
Yes.
So that's how we can attract them to this. I mean, of course, I'm just giving a tip on this occasion for all of us that, yeah, we should find ways how to attract people because people want happiness, right? We have to say how this happiness can reach you more than what we can even imagine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Hmm.
So a similar thing happened also, Prabhuji, when I remember when Lal Govind Prabhu was here in Cologne, and there was a katha on Sunday, and on Saturday we were discussing with a close family, very close family, that that a very senior Vaishnava and big Bhagavata is in Cologne. Please come with us. We take you in our car. Please come for listening the katha in Cologne. Then the man says, the women were agree, the wife was agree. He said, yeah, yeah, because we give some teaser to them what happens the last day, and she become interested actually. But his husband says, no, it's my Sunday. OP, please, it's my Sunday. I don't want to go. And the wife says, if you pursue him, then I can come. Otherwise, I will not come alone.
Nice
If you
package.
pursue my husband.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what should we do is we have compassion, yeah, so that we kind of check later again, and so that's what they are forgetful of Krishna. This is what we saw, na? Because they are forgetful of Krishna, that's why we have to go them, knock the door such a way. Just imagine how Nityananda Prabhu was knocking the door, Haridas Thakur was knocking the door of everyone. We may think, okay, this is too much, right? Yeah. Here it says one should also have compassion for people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. Just imagine all of us have forgotten Krishna. That is the reason we are jumping between the boats. Huh? And one is even so much forgetful that they don't even know there is another boat. And now how can if just imagine Omkareshwar Prabhu that you are in a boat. I don't know whether you know swimming or not. Yeah, in the boat you are going in the midst of the ocean. I say, hey, jump. Then at least I am scared because I don't know swimming, so I'll not jump, right? But I'm saying, no, no, no. There is you'll not drown in it. Huh? You're jumping, into a safer boat because your boat has a hole. What is that hole? That hole is your time. Yeah, life. Every moment that water is coming in and this boat is going down and down, if I'm asking, hey, jump, you will not jump unless you are having a confidence that there is other boat which is safe, which is the best in the world. Yeah? Then you will jump, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji, sure. Yes, yes.
So yeah,
Higher taste.
higher taste. Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, of course, it's we for us to appreciate it. Yeah, we understand this higher taste topics. But if we go to other people now, when we tell about ruchi, nama ruchi, when we talk about katha ruchi, when we say amrit and all these things, they are so much foreign words that we cannot correlate. How can a katha have ruchi? Huh? I can have a ruchi in a gossip.
Yes.
It's like a nice tasty pickle, but katha, how can katha has a ruchi? Because is it dealing with me directly? No, it is about some personality, some god, and some bhaktas. How can that give me a taste? So yeah, I think when we are going to preach to a very basic, as who was that? Ratikeli Mataji, you are referring na? How Prabhupada used to deal with the different levels of people. That is art of preaching. When we come to understand, okay, this person can understand this language, let me speak in that language. And when we come to a different person who is so much, yeah, he is great bhakta, but he himself is confused in a lot of ritualistic. Okay, then for him, I can speak some these words because he is familiar, but okay, still how to present the real message. So I think this is what we all of us have to grow ourselves to next step. How to preach to whom? Yeah. Otherwise, just imagine Omkareshwar Prabhu. You have went to a doctor, and the doctor is expert doctor. and you have asked for a medicine, but before you asked the medicine, the doctor already wrote and gave you a paper. You said, I didn't even speak to you. What is my problem?
Yes, yes,
And
it
then
happens
what
to
you
me.
will do? Yeah, and what you will do? You don't have so much trust. But if this doctor is explaining, hey, I saw your reports. Yeah, this shows that you have that, and you know how you have to handle. If the doctor is very patiently explaining, so that he's coming to our level that we can understand it, huh? Then we have more confidence in the medicine or whatever he gives.
Yes, Guruji. Yes, yes.
So teaching means lot of time. We have to give lot of time, find lot of ways. That shows how much. That's a test of our own compassion.
Prabhuji, sometimes the people stop interacting, then they stop yeah, coming to us, and they stop interacting then.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
one
yeah.
point, if
Yeah, we have to arrange the
we
ways
have
how we
experienced such
go.
a thing that we invited and nice prasadam, nice katha, everything, and then next times no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That will be happening. Yeah, it's a test of our compassion. Because in the past, Rupa can give so many examples when we were doing programs, home programs. We used to have, I mean, fortunately, every time, whenever we did, there was no scarcity of people. People used to come like 30, 40, even 50. But how many were repeatedly coming were, first of all, very less. Uh, the next thing is that even in spite of people who came, they used to they used to come, just imagine you are in a city center doing your shopping, and afternoon you go out to a restaurant for dinner, for a lunch, and again be busy with your shopping. Now just imagine that restaurant is your house. How will you feel?
Yes, yeah, it's very, yeah, busy.
Not just busy, it's like, hey, what is it? My purpose of this center is to do what? To engage them in katha, so that they understand it. They'll have a life transformation, change of life and all. What they are busy is, okay, कहीं तो भी खाना है, कहाँ जाएंगे, कहाँ पे मुफ्त में मिलेगा, और या कहाँ पे अच्छा फूड मिलेगा. Yeah, but don't worry. We don't have to worry at all, because the grace and the mercy of the Lord in the form of prasadam is what one can relish, and they're getting that. And one fine day, it will break through those all barriers that are there. And the one who starts with only prasadam, yeah, nice. We have favorite here, Sindhu Mataji. Just started. She used to say, I used to come only for prasadam. And then what happened? She became devotee.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll not hold you over, but yeah, thank you very much for joining.
Prabhuji,
Yeah, Apu Prabhu.
yes, I have one question.
Yes.
Normally, when we actually analyze the pastime, there is lot of ways, but normally we focus on two ways to analyze the pastime, either from the lila types way, or otherwise characteristics way. Lila types way, Krishna's pastime. When we analyze the character, we tell that okay, it is because of the lila they are doing this one. Sometimes when they do something, tell that because of their character building like that. So this pastime actually happened in the Shuddha Yuga, where normally not that much contamination was there. I mean, we tell that four pada of the Dharma was actually full Yuga, then three pada in the Teta pada. So in this case, actually, how can we understand that the behavior of the Suruchi? I mean, she was in Shuddha Yuga. Second of all, she is actually daughter of the king and the wife of the king. The daughter of king and wife king means she has, I mean, she went through all the shastras and the good qualification, good education, I mean, all these things. And after that also, she knew that Dhruva is the first child, I mean, who will be the king actually, next king.
Yeah.
I mean, really that should have to be there, not that.
Yeah. So in Radhadesh also I was saying these names are so nice. Like we say Suruchi means taste, and Suniti means good quality. and Dhruva means to be very strong. So all these words appear as if like, hey, okay, it's a nice, maybe for giving moral, did it happen, or even if it happened, what to understand. And coming to your question about the qualities, so as soon as we are in this world, yeah, it doesn't matter in which yuga. Yeah, we are talking about Brahma who had a desire to enjoy his daughter. In which yuga was that?
This is, I think, in Shvetayuga.
Yeah. So it's not that, okay, in that yuga there is nothing. There is the prevalence of negativity is relatively less compared to other yugas, but still there was enough. And all these things, the whole Bhagavatam is, you see, every being is having a fault, a mistake. Yeah. I don't know if someone have heard His Holiness Keshav Maharaj seminar that is going on about 6 Goswamis. He was saying the Bhagavatam, every canto you take, there is always someone making a fault. We are talking about Daksha making a fault. We are talking about what was that in the first canto. We have this Ashwatthama. Of course, yeah, Ashwatthama maybe in Dwapar Yuga. Let me recollect. What was that? There is the Hiranyaksha who was torturing. So all these are in different yugas. Yeah, we in the primeval yugas only. Yeah, and we also see that when everything was coming out, Apu Prabhu, even when this Sagar Manthan was happening, what came was this poison, which Lord Shiva could take it. See, that shows how great is Lord Shiva. But we also see that when Lord Shiva learns from Narad Muni that, okay, there was this Mohini Murti, and Lord Shiva was very much eager. He wanted to have the darshan, and we know what happened after seeing. Yeah. When the demigods themselves have, these situations, circumstances, what to talk about kings, wives, sons. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, I can't hear you.
Yes, Prabhu. Understood.
Okay. Okay. Sagar Prabhu, want to add anything? Or was it anything you want to share or take it?
Nothing else to add.
Okay. Yeah, we just started the Dhruva Maharaj pastime. It will go on. Actually, I thought at least we could finish 10 more verses where we can just focus on the glorifications of Narad Muni, of the beauty of the Lord. Yeah, we'll cover that next session. Yeah. And Shweta Mataji, maybe can I ask you if you can ask Garima Mataji to join upcoming sessions as well as share the YouTube link that about this session. Maybe she can, if she's interested, can watch.
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, she is in the group, and yeah, we discussed, and she was about to join, but I don't know. She
Yeah,
hasn't
I remember
replied
she was
also.
telling in Radhadesh that she wants to join.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, because I have told her for Sunday classes also that Sunday 9 o'clock also classes are there. So I will
Fine,
talk
fine.
with her today. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay then. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I hope we all see us at Sushila Mataji's home, whoever is coming. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.